Okay, we are going to go from the least interesting to the most interesting. Number 9. Marine sponges. Imagine a sponge you use in the kitchen, but this is not like your childhood SpongeBob SquarePants. This sponge is peculiar. Instead of being made by people, this animal lives in the ocean. They are not like fish or turtles. They are much simpler and don't have eyes, mouths, or even a brain. Yet a marine sponge has been found to be at least 11,000 years old, with some studies suggesting the potential lifespan of these creatures to be in the hundreds of thousands of years. Now you ask yourself, what is the key? The key to their longevity lies in their ability to patch itself up and regenerate. I know what you're thinking. That's like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. Scientists have discovered that when they separated the cells of a marine sponge from each other, either by using machines or chemicals, the sponges were able to put themselves back together and become the same shape they were before. This incredible ability to grow again makes this creature ageless. They can practically live forever if it's not for water pollution, predators, and the like. Interesting, right? Now to number 8. Flatworms. Our school classes taught us about the special regenerative powers of the flatworms. Now, unlike Piccolo discussed before, these unassuming creatures harbor the ability to regrow into 2 healthy flatworms if cut in half. Flatworms, scientifically known as platyhelminthes, are a diverse group of invertebrate animals characterized by their flattened, soft bodies that can regrow. Flatworms play various roles in ecosystems. Recently, a lab at MIT performed an experiment that regrew an entire flatworm from a single cell. A particular flatworm called the planarian can somehow avoid the aging process and keep their cells dividing. Let's take a break from the weird animals in the sea. At number 7, bristlecone pine trees. These gnarly and knotted trees look anything but ageless. Their lifetime seems evident in their shape, with branches twisting in and around themselves like the bony fingers of an old man. Inside, though, is a life form of incredible sturdiness. The bristlecone pine measures its life not in centuries but in millennia. The oldest one discovered is estimated to be over 5,000 years old. The exact location of this tree and other exceptionally old bristlecone pines is kept a secret to keep them safe from intentional or accidental damage. Dated to be just under 5,000 years old, another bristlecone pine named Prometheus was cut down in the same area. This pine's wood is dense and resinous, giving it natural defenses against threats like fungi and insects. Even if the tree does die, its dead form holds on strong for centuries and is kept upright by its roots. So wait, was all of that just a joke? The tree is actually dead? At number 6, bdelloid rotifers. Firstly, these creepy-looking things are intriguing from an evolutionary perspective because they have existed for millions of years without sexual reproduction. Just like marine sponges, most multicellular organisms rely on sexual reproduction for genetic diversity and evolutionary adaptability. Bdelloid rotifers, however, have evolved and diversified remarkably well through their asexual reproduction strategy. But how are they able to not grow old? These microscopic animals have a powerful ability to stop their bodily functions in times of crisis, such as starvation or dehydration, and suspend their own aging process. In fact, this prolonged period of inactivity can be longer than their normal lifespan. These small 1 millimeter or less creatures can be found the world over in any body of water, but also in such homes as mosses and lichen. In general, they live for about 30 days. Some bdelloid rotifers could last 40 days while starving and then pick up again with their normal lifespans as if the 40-day period had never happened. This would be like finding humans who could go without eating for 100 years without aging a day the entire time. Once food was available again, they would pick up where they left off and live a normal life from then on. Number 5. Hydra. While not truly immortal, Hydra exhibits a form of biological immortality. Imagine being able to grow old and still be stronger, smarter, and healthier. These bad boys do not appear to undergo senescence, aging, in the same way most organisms do. Studies suggest that under favorable conditions, Hydra can continuously regenerate and maintain their structures indefinitely, theoretically living for an extended period without showing signs of aging-related decline. This creature is only about 2.5 centimeters high and tree-like. To understand its place on our list, we need to understand the concept of senescence, which is the increase in mortality rate as a creature gets older. For example, humans are more likely to die the older we get. However, the Hydra does not have this increase in mortality. They accomplish this cool thing using 3 distinct types of stem cells, which are initially undifferentiated and can eventually become many different specialized cell types. These stem cells are actively renewing the body of the Hydra and thus fighting off any aging process that could lower their mortality rate. In a laboratory setting, it's estimated that 5% of Hydra could live up to 1,400 years using this process. But get this, there is one Hydra species that cannot do this cool technique, Hydra oligactus. Sorry, buddy, sea creature at number 4, lobsters. Often caught to be eaten as delicacies, these bottom-feeding ocean animals have indeterminate growth, which means they have no maximum size. As a result, the longer a lobster lives, the bigger it will get, with no biological process to halt that growth. They grow so much that the heaviest lobster ever caught was a little over 20 kilograms. It was found off the coast of Nova Scotia. Estimates of these animals' lifespan range from 50 to 100 years, not much different from that of humans. But the fascinating thing about lobsters is how they age and die. They show no loss of appetite, sex drive, energy, or metabolism as they get older. Some magic stuff. However, lobsters do make it hard to measure their age. They grow in the process of molting, where they shed their entire exoskeleton. After each molting, all the hard surfaces of the animal are discarded. So there is nothing left that can be aged with accuracy. It is that process of molting that eventually kills them, not the usual aging process that humans face. The larger a lobster becomes, the more dangerous molting is, and the more energy it takes. Eventually, a large lobster will no longer be able to survive the process or even muster up enough energy to begin it, thanks to its giant size. If this hurdle were somehow removed, there's no telling how long these creatures could live. At number 3, Midland painted turtle. Although many turtles show a long lifespan and lack of senescence, Blanding's turtles and Midland painted turtles have a seemingly backward take on aging. The elderly females lay even more eggs than their younger counterparts and die at a lower rate. They become more likely to keep living with age. The longevity of the entire turtle family is impressive. One giant tortoise lived for at least 250 years in the Calcutta Zoo. One doctor from the American Museum of Natural History said plainly, "Turtles don't really die of old age. Instead, the internal organs of elderly turtles are almost identical to those of their teenage counterparts." This impressive lifespan is also shown in how slowly female turtles reach sexual maturity. Only after 40 or 50 years in some species, they probably don't go on menopause. If it weren't for shitty humans who crush these little things with an automobile, or them falling prey to a disease, a turtle could live indefinitely. At number 2, Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish. This is an interesting one. Imagine that we could decide on a whim to reverse our aging at any point in our lives. Our hair would get less gray, our wrinkles would disappear, our bodies would get stronger, and our metabolism would increase. We'd be like teenagers again, then like children, and finally, like babies. Let's all admit it, growing up is a scam. Once we are kids again, only then will we start aging again from the beginning, living our lives a second time, none the worse for wear. This is the exact situation of a Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. At any point in its life, the jellyfish can reverse aging in a process known as transdifferentiation, something that sounds like what Jesus did, revert to its earliest form, and then continue living from there. So far as we know, this process can continue without end. This mechanism can be triggered by anything from mutilation to old age, starvation, or disease. If left to their own devices, these jellyfish will rejuvenate about 10 times over the course of 2 years. Sometimes these events happen less than a month apart. Also a proficient hitchhiker, this everlasting jellyfish has spread to every ocean in the world by hitching rides on cargo boats. And at number 1, Pando tree colony. The Pando tree colony, also known as the trembling giant, is a unique and remarkable organism that holds the title of being one of the oldest and heaviest known living organisms on Earth. Its name means "eye spread" in Latin, and it's also known as the trembling giant. This massive organism defies all expectations. It is a grove of quaking aspens, named for the sound the leaves make at even the slightest flutter of wind. Pando is a colony of trees spread across 100 acres of land, and every tree there is the same organism. This is because quaking aspen trees reproduce mainly by sprouting new trees from an already existing single root system. A single organism can have many tree trunks sprouting out of the ground. Pando has 47,000 trunks. The individual trunks only persist for 100 to 150 years or so, but Pando as a whole has been estimated to be at least 80,000 years old, with optimistic estimates at 1 million years old. This everlasting grove is among the oldest and largest living creatures on our planet and weighs some 6 million kilograms. Pando serves as a testament to the incredible longevity and interconnected nature of certain plant species. Thanks for watching. Oh, have you ever wondered why certain birds are found dead after crashing into a building or a window? Check out this video that explains why. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this.